tool next. So exactly the same process. Make yourself a new document. Make it a print A3 again. A3, measure in your millimetres. Work in RGB preferably, and so on. So that'll do, and just create it. Oops, and I did it wrong. Don't do what I just did. Print A3, forgot to do landscape. And let's just go RGB. Everything there, yeah, okay. That looks more like it. So you're going to do the same kind of thing, and what you might want to do this time is, because you know you need a background layer, you might want to just call that background. That's your first layer. And then use a little plus sign, create a new layer, and that's going to be your graphic. So you know you're putting the graphic on that top layer. Make sense? Keep it simple, and you can even lock the background layer so you don't, at this point, accidentally put anything on it, so you don't get confused. Okay, so now we're ready to bring in our little creature again. So we do the file place, and go and find, I'm going to use the same one, my little bear again. Same deal, shrink it, but hold down the shift key. This time we're going to do a rotate. So with this, depending on your object, you've got to think about the point of rotation. At what point do we want to rotate around? So get the rotation tool, and just like with the reflect tool, if you hold the option key down and click, that will tell the program where to rotate around. So I might rotate around the head, and I've got to put in an angle that fits into a circle. So it has to be a degree that fits into a circle. So a full circle is 360 degrees. So you could do anything that divides evenly into that. I'm going to do 30, but you could do 60, you could do 90. Okay, so and you could go down to 15, depending on what you want to do. Again, say copy, and you can see that it's copied at only 30 degrees. So if I hit Command D, it's going to repeat all the way around the circle. Sorry, I'm recording. So once you get to that point, you can see I've got a crazy pattern there, which is okay. And if I like that, again, you can get your move tool, your black arrow tool, select the whole thing, shrink it down, holding down the shift key so it doesn't distort, and then you can do any number of copies of it. That's option drag, hold the shift key to constrain it, Command D to repeat the last thing. So I'll go back and do the whole thing again, but with a different, I can't tell I've got bears there, so my rotation's not really working well. So with that rotate tool, remember you go and get the rotate tool, and then you think to yourself, where do I want it to rotate around? So I think I'd like a bit more empty space here. So I'm actually going to say the rotate point is going to be here this time. And maybe I want to just do maybe 45. So that divides evenly into 360 as well. And try that. You can see it's rotating around a completely different point. And it's actually leaving me a really nice spot in the middle where I could place some other little creature. There's a little creature. So I know these don't belong together. They're various students' things, but say I want to do something like that. I'm not sure why you want to, but there you go. So if I now select these by dragging over them and group them, so you can use the shortcut group down here, you can go object group, but you can also just learn the shortcut, which is Command G to group things, because you use it so often. Once it's grouped, you can move it over, then you can drag it holding the shift key down, and then you can option and drag again, hold the shift key down as well to position it, and then just Command D to repeat. Same as we did the other one, we can then select that whole thing, group them, drag them down. We could offset them. It's getting some nice interesting patterns doing that. Command D, and then I might go back and just manually select one and copy that to move in to make the whole pattern. So you can kind of, figure it out like that. And again, because we've got our background on a separate layer, we can lock our top layer or turn it off to make it easier, and put a large rectangle that just covers that area, and then just put your colours on there. And you do have your swatch, window swatches you can bring up for your colours. You've got your swatch libraries, so you could go and have a look at any of those. So you do have other libraries you can bring in, sort of up to you really, or you can just go via your swatch palette and try out colours from there. But if you want more variety, you can go and have a look at any of those other swatch libraries as well. Or we know how to bring them in from, if you want particular swatches, we can upload them using that window swatch libraries, other library, and if we've got anything we've downloaded, you can see a .ase file there. That's Pantone ones I've got. I might have other ones there that I've downloaded. There's a set, analogous warm. I could bring those in, and then I could sit there and I could play around with those specific colours that I've brought in from adobe.color. So you can see how it changes the mood. When you're doing these colour experiments, do you need to be cool or warm? What do you think would actually suit your particular audience for this wrapping paper with the colours? Always keep that in mind. And you chose some different sets last week, so you could bring any of those sets of colours in and work with them more specifically as swatches. So have a lot of fun with the colour combinations. And again, when you've finished, File, Save As, and save a copy on your computer as well as to the share files. Otherwise, you might lose it. So save an Illustrator file is fine. I'm going to save it on Documents. I'm going to call this Rotate Pattern. So I know I've got one of those. You need to do at least one rotate. You can do more. So that's my second experiment. And I can also save it as a PDF. So I can also save it directly as a PDF if you want to, because the PDF is what we would print with. So it's the same thing, you're going File, Save As. I would save both. I would save it as a .ai and then as a PDF, as PDFs can be dragged into Illustrator. They can be uploaded onto Moodle, and crucially, we want to print one of these as our final one. So I would like you to be saving them as the original AI. Okay, so rotate pattern. So it's my second pattern, .ai. Save that. Okay to all that. And save it again. Mine's busy saving, but save it again as a PDF as well. Okay, in case this is the one that you decide you actually want to print after you get feedback from other students. So that will be another process we're going to go through before you finalise it. You're going to decide which one you're going to get feedback, make some changes, maybe slightly to the colour, and then that will be the one you'll print out. Okay, so if they're PDFs, we can print them nicely. Okay,